It was a freezing January night in Paris, California, and inside a quiet, pale yellow house on Muir Woods Road, something beyond human imagination was going on. 13 siblings, a haunted house, and a nightmare that lasted for years. Most people had no clue. Neighbors drove by every day. The house looked normal, too normal. But behind those curtains, behind those locked doors, 13 kids were living in hell. Their parents, David and Louise Turpin, had turned that house into a torture chamber. Not a home, a prison. The kids were starved for years. They were chained to beds. Their hair was matted. Their skin was pale. Most of them couldn't even walk straight because their muscles had stopped growing. They weren't allowed to shower. They weren't allowed to speak. They weren't allowed to smile. They lived in filth, fear, and darkness. And here's the craziest part. No one outside had any idea, but one kid, one brave girl, refused to die in that house. Her name was Jordan, 17 years old, shaking, terrified, but determined. For years, she watched her siblings suffer. She saw them being chained. She heard their cries at night. She smelled the rot in the rooms. She felt the hunger ripping her stomach apart. And one night, she snapped. She grabbed an old cell phone. She climbed out of a tiny window, and she started running. Barefoot, shaking, not even knowing where she was going. Every breath felt like her last. Every shadow felt like her parents were chasing her. But she kept running until she found one thing she had never seen before in her entire life: a world outside her prison. It was around 5 a.m. The streets were empty. The sky was turning blue. Jordan dialed 911 with trembling hands. The call recording still haunts people. Her voice was weak, scared, but full of a quiet bravery. She told the operator, "I just ran away from home. I live in a house with 13 kids. My parents abuse us. They chain us up." The operator asked her, "Do your parents know you left?" Jordan said, "No. If they find out, I'm dead." That single line hit the whole world like a punch. A patrol unit pulled up, body cam rolling, and for the first time ever, Jordan stood in front of a police officer. She looked like a 10-year-old, but she was 17. That's how malnourished she was. She tried to explain everything. Her voice was dry. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. The officer kept asking questions, and every answer made him more shocked. Meanwhile, at the Turpin house, 12 siblings were waiting, some chained to beds, some lying on the floor, barely able to move. Jordan kept begging the officer, "Please, check the house. My sisters are chained up." Police backup arrived, lights flashed, doors opened, and the moment cops entered that house, everything changed. The smell hit them first. Rot, garbage, human waste, dirty diapers piled up, food rotting on the counters. The kids were pale, skinny, shaking. Some were so thin the officers could see their bones through their clothes. They looked at the cops with confusion, because they had never seen rescue before, never seen hope, never seen freedom. One officer whispered, "Oh my God." Another said, "Get paramedics, all of them." Some kids had been chained for weeks, some for months. Some didn't even know what a doctor was. Cops carried them out one by one. Each child looked like a ghost walking into the light for the first time. The news exploded across America. Every channel, every headline, every social feed. The Turpin 13. House of Horrors. Children rescued after years of torture. People cried watching the body cam footage. Even seasoned detectives broke down. And while the world was shocked, the kids were entering a new life. Hospitals treated them. Social workers hugged them. The world suddenly cared. But recovery wasn't easy. Some kids didn't know how to cross a street. Some didn't know how to speak to strangers. Some had never eaten a full meal. Some were scared of sunlight. Some had never seen a toothbrush. Doctors said it was a miracle they were alive. David and Louise Turpin were arrested instantly. Their mugshots went viral. People couldn't believe parents could do something like this. Courtrooms filled. Journalists packed the hallways. Victims wrote letters describing the pain. The judge listened silently, then gave a sentence that the whole country wanted. Life in prison. No parole. They would never hurt anyone again. But the real heroes? Those 13 kids, survivors, fighters, warriors. They had every reason to break, but they didn't. They got out. They spoke out. They rebuilt their lives from zero. Jordan, the girl who made the escape, later said in an interview, "I saw my siblings dying in front of me. I knew if I didn't do something, we would all die." Her bravery saved 12 lives. Today, those kids are scattered across safe homes, colleges, therapy programs, and new families. They're learning, healing, living. They're finally breathing fresh air, finally eating real food, finally sleeping in warm beds, finally being treated like human beings. And every year, people remember their story, not just for the horror, but for the unbelievable courage. 13 children, 13 survivors. One escape that changed everything. The Turpin 13 case wasn't just a rescue. It was a miracle, a wake-up call, a reminder that even in the darkest houses, a small spark of courage can light up the whole world. And that spark was a 17-year-old girl holding a broken phone, running barefoot in the dark, choosing freedom